Good morning. This is April 4th. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning here in Mazatlán. Not a lot has changed since yesterday. I did notice last night that Home Depot now has signs, professionally printed signs up limiting the number of people in the store to 100, or the number of shoppers in the store to 100. They also have a queue set up outside with distance markers at 2 meters and signs that say, stay 2 meters apart in the cash queues and all of that stuff. I went there last night to look at get some PVC and noticed this. There was not a big crowd. There was no problem getting in. Stopped at Walmart to pick up a few things. Fairly ordinary day. They do also have markers on the floor showing where you need to stand to be 2 meters apart. They also have signs that say you have to give preference to older shoppers and requesting you to step aside for older shoppers. That's about it. The town continues to close slowly. If you haven't seen the previous talks on it, basically where we are is that government services are reduced to a minimum. Schools are closed till at least 1 May. There's no big outdoor activities. But other than that, the town seems to be moving along. Traffic is obviously much lighter. Most playgrounds, parks, beaches here in Mazatlán are all closed. They say on the beaches that there's significant police enforcement. Virtually all hotels, especially those in the tourist zone or golden zone as it's called here, are all closed. Not so much under government order, but just there's no customers. And it'll probably be like this even with the what's called the Holy Weekend here, or the Holy Period, where there's a lot of travel apparently to Mazatlán. It will not be this year. A friend of mine works in the airport indicated that traffic is way, way, way down. There's virtually nobody coming in and out. So that's where we are. That's the update on the battle against COVID-19. The last thing is the U.S. government's embassy page indicates that Mexico has about 1,500 plus cases at this point, and that would be as of the end of business on the 2nd of April. So we're about a day behind that. And it's continuing to rise. So my fun story about Mexico today is about driving. I've talked about this before and I've written about it, and again, this is my experience only, and primarily here in Mazatlán, although I have driven all over Mexico into most but not all states. But here in Mazatlán, local drivers tend to only stop at stop signs where there's somebody coming. If there's nobody coming, you can see there's nobody coming, they don't stop. They slow down maybe, but do not stop. Stoplights are another matter. If the stoplight is red, most drivers stop and sit behind it no matter how light the traffic is the other way. Even if it's at night, you rarely see another driver violating a red light. So lots of respect for red lights. I have never observed an intersection with a traffic sensor. So, yeah. So drivers here on roundabouts or traffic circles, it's the same rules as it is everywhere I've ever been. If you're in the circle, you have right of way. You need to be very careful about that because sometimes this can be either a bit confusing, or somebody just tries to run and get in a spot. So eye contact is highly recommended if it looks like somebody's going to violate the rule. This has happened. I've seen this happen. Motorcycles here generally have right-of-way. They go between cars. This is called white lining, lane sharing, lane splitting, whatever it is. It's done everywhere here. And they go to the front of the queue in intersections. And this is accepted by the driving public. And I assume it's legal. Everybody does it. Nobody honks at them, tries to kill them. People make way for the enormous band of mostly small motorcycles here that do all sorts of things, from transportation to delivery of just about everything you can think of. So you should be aware of them too. There are a lot of them, and they tend to, be beside you or right in front of you, or just, look out for them. They're everywhere. Okay, those are my driving tips and my update on Mazatlán, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.